The layout of Venice is different from any other major city in the world. The city is covered by a system of waterways called canals, usually lined with footpaths. There are no roads and there are no cars.
So getting around in Venice your first time can be really confusing. So we're going to give you the keys that you need to finding your way around, especially on foot.
Andiamo!
Most of your time around Venice, you will be walking. If you don't like walking a lot, you might not enjoy Venice. Especially in the hot summer months, the amount of walking you'll need to do can be a big deal.
You might think about the Vaporetto, the water bus, or a water taxi, and you can check out our video on public transportation in Venice for those.
Those water taxis are pretty expensive. The water bus is better, but even with that, you'll still need to do plenty of walking.
You can walk anywhere in the main city. Be ready for lots of stone walkways, lots of little bridges that go up and over the small canals, and a few really big bridges that go over the Grand Canal. And you will want to stop at a lot of these bridges to take pictures.
But here's the most important thing. You will get lost. And it's great. One of my favorite things to do is getting lost in Venice.
But to learn your way around, you should start by learning the sestieri. These are the 6 areas of the city: Canareggio, San Polo, Dorsoduro, Santa Croce, San Marco, Castello. There are also a few popular areas in the lagoon around Venice that cannot be accessed by foot. Areas like Murano, Burano, Lido, and Giudecca, which is technically part of Dorsoduro. For now, we'll forget about those and stick with the main sestieri.
Whether you're staying in a hotel or a rented apartment, you should find it on a map and at least memorize which sestieri it's in. Then you should take a look at the major landmarks you might want to visit and figure out which sestieri those are in.
If you arrived by car or bus, you arrived in Piazzale Roma. That's in Santa Croce. If you arrived by train, you're at the Santa Lucia station, also known as Ferrovia, which is in Canareggio.
Arsenale, which was the historic center for shipbuilding in Venice, is in Castello. You'll also find the Naval Museum and the main exhibition center of the Biennale Art Festival in Castello.
Ponte dell'Accademia is one of the popular destinations for photographers, and that connects Dorsoduro and San Marco. The Rialto area, which includes the outdoor Rialto Market and the famous Rialto Bridge, are in San Polo.
And Piazza San Marco, or St. Mark's Square, which is easily the biggest attraction in Venice and one of the most famous public squares in the world, well, that's in the sestiere of San Marco.
And we're not just talking about pretty places here. These sites are also important because they will be your touchstones. Next, you need to look for street signs, which are not probably where you would expect them to be. And a lot of first-time visitors don't even know they exist. The trick is to look up, pretty high on the side of some of the buildings. One thing you'll see are signs identifying streets. Well, not really streets. We're talking about the stone footpaths, which may be known as calle, Rio Terán, fondamenta, and more. A medium-sized public square is known as a campo. And you may have already noticed that a bridge is ponte. Of course, you should also use the maps on your phone if you can. Using Google Maps or something similar to find yourself on the map makes a big difference. But you need to know that sometimes the maps on your phone will not be reliable when you're in Venice. Some of these streets are so narrow that the GPS on your phone doesn't work so well.
Remember, you will get lost, but it's great. Now, another thing you can get from those street signs, which is pretty important, directions to those major landmarks. Keep an eye out and you'll see arrows pointing you in the direction of Piazza San Marco, Ponte Rialto, Ferrovia. Remember, that's the train station, and others. But keep an eye out for these signs as you're walking around. They will be your guide if you get terribly, hopelessly lost. And you will get lost. Just keep an eye out for these signs, find your way to one of those landmarks, reset, and restart.
One last thing you should keep an eye out for are the stops or platforms for Vaporetto or water bus. They all have names posted clearly in black text on yellow, and you also see street signs pointing you to them. The Vaporetto is a great way to get around, and you can check out our video on using public transportation for that. But these water bus stops are really good to know because they are easy to find and can be great meeting locations. If you have an appointment with somebody, it will probably be at one of those major landmarks or a water bus stop.
With these tips in mind, you should have an easier time finding your way around. But my best recommendation is to give yourself time to just enjoy getting lost, especially at night.
The city is safe and it's beautiful. As a woman, I've always felt way safer around Venice, even late at night, than in any other major city. Try not to get yourself locked into a tight schedule until you really know your way around and embrace getting lost.
As long as you're not in a rush and you embrace the time it takes to learn your way around, I think you'll enjoy wandering. It really is one of the main attractions for me.
And there are other options for getting around Venice. We have a video on how to use public transportation in Venice, and if you haven't already seen it, check out our video on how to get into the city from the airport and other locations.